Okay, so for people who don't know who you are, tell them who you are and what you do.
Well, my name is Tactix. Well, my real name is Andrew James, but I go by Tactix, which is my alias online. What I do is I make comedy skits and I give relationship advice, and yeah, that's pretty much me in a nutshell in terms of what I do.
Okay, so what first inspired you to start vlogging in the first place, to start writing skits and all of that jazz?
Oh, that's a long, extensive story. I'll paraphrase it though.
Okay.
Basically, how it happened was it all stemmed from like a breakup that I went through. Like I had no intention of being an internet personality or whatever like that. I kind of just started off doing like my dance thing, and I was just like showcasing my dancing with my dance crew and everything like that. And at the time, I was dating this girl, and she'd shown me this video from Timothy De La Ghetto. I don't know if you're familiar with him. And I think the first skit I ever saw from him was No Racial, and I remember dying. It was hilarious, and so she was like, "Yeah, you know, you're funny. You know, you could do this stuff. Why don't you like, test your skills out and whatever?" And I was like, "Nah, I can't do that, right?" Because at the time I was very reserved and kind of shy and stuff like that, so I didn't really want to put myself out there in that way.
Yeah.
And then we kind of broke up, and then I like went into this whole depression, and I got all sad and shit like that.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh my gosh, the love of my life is gone and everything. And then I kind of just picked up a camera, and I proposed the idea to my friends, like let's start a YouTube show, like, let's do this, And at first they were kind of like, oh, what is YouTube? What's this? What are you talking about? And so we kind of filmed our first episode, and then from there it kind of, gradually progressed into like me doing like comedy skits and writing like all these kinds of jokes and like just building up my personality, and then that's kind of how it all started.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I actually didn't know that.
Oh,
at
no?
all.
Okay.
No. Okay, so through that you had your show Real Talk Gurus.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you kind of answered it by asking why'd you start it. I haven't really seen so many formal episodes. I know you do it on vocal.
Right.
But are you still planning on doing more of your formal episodes like what you used to do? I know there's like a change in the lineup. I don't want to talk about it, but...
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, we could get into that a little bit too, if you want. But in terms of getting into...
That was me.
Oh, okay. I should probably turn my phone on silent though. But yeah, sorry about that.
It's okay.
Very unprofessional.
It's okay.
But how like in terms of whether or not we're gonna start again, I don't really know, because like the thing is like the way the format was with Real Talk, it was like we like initially when we first started, it was like us in our car, right? Like in my car, and we just had the camera on my dashboard, and we just basically read out the questions and then did our thing, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, it did kind of well. Like it generated a decent buzz amongst our friends, but then when we started integrating like the skits in the beginning to follow, like to kind of coincide with the actual answers and stuff, that's when like we really started getting more recognition, and our channel was getting less obscure. And from there, we kept doing it that way with that format, and then we started getting like a bit of a following, and it was doing well for a while. But after a while, it kind of like we noticed that there was the ratings just plummeted, like they just kept dropping, and like we couldn't understand why. And it was just like simply because like the format of the show kind of catered to like one specific person, which was a person asking the question.
Yeah. And
people were kind of like, I was evaluating like the audience attention span. Like there's a graph that like shows up on YouTube, and like for the most part, like it would be in the beginning where we had our skits.
Yeah.
It would go like this, and then as soon as we started getting into answering the questions, it would just be like drastic drop, because like everyone like that only appealed to the person asking the question. Like you get a few people who be like, okay, this applies to me, so this is good advice. Let me listen, right? But for the most part, we weren't really captivating a large majority of our audience, so I didn't personally feel it was worth it for me to like spend all that time editing that stuff and then putting it out and then getting like at most 1,000 views per video like in a week. Like just didn't really seem so we figured we just take it to the live feeds and then just do it live without the skits and everything. Just we could interact with the people more on a more personal level. So we kind of just did it that way. Like if I don't know, maybe sometime down the future we might throw in one or a couple videos just to pay homage to, just to, just every now and then just to kind of go back to our roots of how we started and everything. But for the most part, it's like I'm doing a lot of experimentation with my channel to see what works and what doesn't and stuff. So that's really how you have to do it because there's a lot of competition out there now, right?
True, so, of course. So when's your vocal show?
Vocal shows are usually every Sunday at 10 p.m. Eastern time.
Okay, so it usually runs about 2 hours.
2 hours. Sometimes, because I know this is bad to say, sometimes our show kind of starts a little later because we sometimes get sidetracked.
Yeah.
So sometimes it'll start at 10:30. So in that case, we'll usually extend the show maybe 3 hours for those people who either can't make it, have work or other priorities or whatever like that. So we kind of try to extend it to the best of our ability because we also have work and stuff like that too, right? So
about 2 hours between 10 and 12. Sometimes it'll be longer. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. So, you've been known for your real talk.
Right.
And it has gotten you into a bit of trouble sometimes.
Yes.
Sometimes.
Yes.
What would you say is the worst reaction to some of the videos you've put out?
I think you know which one I'm going to say. But,
I was hoping there was something else, but
if you know any other one.
I don't. That was the worst one I know.
Oh, okay.
But I was hoping there was something else and we didn't have to go there.
Well, no. There's been others. When we're talking about when we joke about watching pornography and all this stuff like that, there's sometimes you'll get the, for lack of a better word, I shouldn't use this word, but the prude people who are kind of more
conservative, don't want to hear you talking about
they kind of have an issue with that, and they'll say their irate comments every now and then and everything. We kind of brush those comments off, but the one video that kind of got me in a lot of trouble with some people that I actually respect, which they will remain nameless, but
yes.
It was the black guys don't date black girls, right? And basically the video was kind of blown out of proportion, and a lot of there were some women, black women, who didn't really necessarily like how I kind of conveyed the message in that video. But I tried to specify that I wasn't speaking on behalf of all black women.
Yeah.
And I think that part alone kind of got overlooked. And I for me, I kind of try to push the envelope, but I never try to be offensive in any way. And I just try to make my videos very humorous so everyone can enjoy it. But some people kind of just took it way out of proportion, and it kind of got blown out of perspective. So
for people who don't know, I'll probably put a link to the video either on my blog or with this channel. It got him into a whole lot of slack for at least 6 weeks.
Oh yeah.
Every time you were on your vocal channel doing Real Talk Gurus, there was one person that would show hate or bring up talking about black girls.
Yeah. And we joke about it on the live show all the time, but me personally, I have nothing against black women. I dated a black girl. I still find them attractive. So it's even though we joke about it all the time, it's not meant to be taken serious. Iceman's a different story, but Iceman has no hate towards them either. It's just his preference is. His preference is just Asian girls. He barely even likes white girls. He's strictly.
Well, because he keeps the white girls for you.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know, man. But I mean, I like to taste the rainbow. I taste it all, right? You know what I mean? I find a woman is a woman. As long as she's beautiful, it is what it is, right? Yes, everyone has their preferences. You know what I mean? But if I see a beautiful woman, whether she's black, white, brown, purple, yellow, green, it doesn't matter. If you're beautiful, you're beautiful, right?
Yeah.
But then there's some people who are just set in their ways, I only date Asian girls, or I only date white girls, or I only date black girls, and you can't really hate them for that. You know what I mean? It's their preference, right?
Yeah. No, it's funny because a lot of people, because I related to this whole issue just because usually I like white boys. And it'll be funny because I'll be talking to my girlfriends and I'll be like, oh, I really can't stand black guys. They're so freaking annoying. And then they'll look at me and they're like, Leanne, your boyfriend's black. I'll be like, I know, but he's the exception. And they're like, what? So.
And that's a perfect example too, because I mean, like, yes, I was speaking on behalf of like the stereotypes of some Black women, but mind you, like, I know a lot of Black women who do not fit into that stereotype at all. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just there are some who are like that, and that's where the video was directed to. But like, they kind of thought it was
We'll put it this way. I'm gonna say that it was probably those girls watching those videos going off.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
But no regrets. It's out there now, so.
Exactly. You can't take it back.
Exactly.